How you doing? I'm Darren with Ash Kickin' Barbecue. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today, we're talking whole pork loin. Now, this is going to be my entry for the BBQ Pitmasters of YouTube virtual competition. If you recall, in the first round, I went against CJ over at Cooking with CJ. Our protein we drew was ribs, and we cooked those. We had a great time. I narrowly lost against CJ, but because I lost by the lowest margin, I was invited back this round. And this round, I drew Joe over at Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue because I'm lucky like that. And our protein is whole pork loin. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Now, this is a whole pork loin sent to me by Jim Compart over at Compart Family Farms. Compart Duroc, the best pork on the planet. Now, if you're a comp guy, you've heard of Compart Duroc. They're the standard in the competition world, and this whole pork loin is no different. It's absolutely extraordinary. It looks absolutely wonderful, and I'm really excited to cook this up. Now, to season this, we're going to be using chicken fried barbecue Texas rib grind, Bill Purvis's rub. If you don't know who Bill Purvis is, he's a comp guy who's out there killing it on the circuit right now. He was kind enough to send me this rub, so figured, what the hell, there's a pig on it. Let's go ahead and slap some rub on here and get it out on the smoker. Today, we're going to be cooking on the Gateway drum, and we're going to be running at about 275 to 300 degrees. We're going to have a little cherry smoke kissing this whole pork loin, and that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to bring you in, and we'll get this seasoned up, and we'll get outside and get to cooking. Joe, good luck, brother. Let's get this prepped up. All right, guys, so the prep on this is going to be really simple. Now we're just going to go ahead and flip it over. You can see here we have a little bit of a fat cap. I'm not even going to trim this because we're cooking on the Gateway drum and we're going to be cooking a little hot and fast. I want to have this fat on here to protect the meat, kind of keep it, you know, a barricade in there from the direct heat hitting the meat too hard and wrist drying it out, because we're not going to inject or do any of that other nonsense. If you cook this pork loin right, it should still be moist, and that's without an injection. So it's going to be very simple. Now, to season this up, we're going to just go ahead and get a nice coating of the Texas rib grind on here. It's got some nice pepper chunks in here. Looks really good, smells really good. And this is the only seasoning we're going to use, so we're going to go pretty liberally with it. We're just going to go ahead and press that in. And we're going to let that sit for a few minutes and just kind of let that rub adhere to the meat. Okay, guys, it's been about 5 minutes. I went ahead and flipped over our pork loin here. Now we're going to go ahead and get this side seasoned up. Like I said, this is going to be the only seasoning we're using, so we're going to go pretty heavy with it. Want to get a lot of flavor on the outside. All right, and that's looking pretty good. Now all I'm going to do is just kind of roll this to get my edges. Kind of bring up what I can off the board here so we're not wasting the rub. Look at that black pepper in there. That looks absolutely awesome. It's already starting to get a nice color on there. All right, now that we have our pork loin seasoned, we're just going to let this hang out here while we let the Gateway drum get up to temp, and I'll meet you guys outside. All right, guys, you can see we have our pork loin on our Gateway drum smoker. We have some cherry wood rolling here. We're gonna let this thing go for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna come out and get a probe in it. And I will probably just spin the grate so we got some even cooking, but you can see it's looking good. We're gonna let this thing roll for 20 minutes, get a probe in it, and we'll see you guys then. All right, guys, so it's been about 20 minutes. You can see I have the probe in. We're sitting at 72.3 degrees. I have a high alarm set of 138 degrees. Once our pork loin hits that temp, we're gonna bring it inside and let it rest and carry over to the safe zone. So let's take a look at this. You can see we have some great color coming on. Our rub is starting to set up nicely. So we're just gonna let this go until it hits 138 degrees. And at that point, I'll bring you back and I'll let you know how long it's been. So we will see you guys then. All right, guys, so it has been 1 hour. Our ThermoWorks smoke just went off, telling us we are at temp. You can see here we have some wonderful color on this pork loin. This looks absolutely delicious. We're just going to go ahead and double check our temps here. We are sitting at about 140 degrees here, and that's perfect. We're going to get this inside. We're going to tent it in foil. We're going to let it rest for about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll jump in and give it a taste test. So I'm going to get this in the house, and we will see you guys when it's time to do the taste test. All right, guys, it's been about 20 minutes. We've gone ahead and let this pork loin rest. I can't wait any longer. It smells delicious. So we're just gonna jump into it and see how it is here. First thing I'm gonna do is just slice right down the center. Slicing super tender, feels great. You can see by my juice reservoir here, it's full of juice. And I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it is absolutely juicy. That looks incredible. We have a nice smoke ring right here from our cherry smoke, and that looks incredible. I mean, you can kind of see the juice pooling up right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and slice me off a little piece here. And it is so tender. It's cutting so nice. Look at that. That is a beautiful piece of pork loin right there if I've ever seen one. And look at that. You think it's not juicy? It's juicy. And I'm not one to usually squeeze my meat, but that thing is juicy. And that's no injection. That's just properly cooked pork loin right there. So let's go ahead and slice this off a little piece here. I'm really excited to try Bill's rub here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dunk in a little bit of the au jus here. The flavor from that Compart Duroc pork is absolutely incredible. If you haven't tried them before, I highly recommend it. I'm gonna go ahead and link their website below. This is tender, this is juicy. It packs that pork punch that we're all looking for in a pork loin. All I need is a little bit of horseradish, maybe a couple pieces of toasted bread, and I got a wonderful pork loin sandwich here. Down below, I'm also gonna have a link to Smokin' Joe's Pit Barbecue pork loin video. Be sure to go and check that out. Watch his, watch mine. And then I'm also gonna have a link for where you can go to vote for which one you liked better. And I'm not even gonna tell you to vote for me. I'm just gonna tell you for the video that you liked better and whoever did a better job. I kept it very simple for this cook. Sometimes I believe simple's better. We seasoned this up. We got it on our gateway. We got the flavor from Bill's Rub, which is absolutely phenomenal. We got the flavor from that cherry wood smoke. And we also have the flavor from that fat dripping down on the coals of the gateway and steaming back up into the meat. This is absolutely amazing. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe, and we will see you next time.